Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Ryan the Kryptonian Collector back with another Hot Toys unboxing and review. And today we're taking a look at David Corenswet's Superman from his recent film in 2025. This one is Superman and Krypto, and I gotta tell you guys, I honestly was not going to get this figure. I decided I've already ordered the inert piece, and I was just gonna stick with the inert David Corenswet Superman. Well, once I let this one go, I kind of regretted it. Luckily, it came up on Sideshow's waitlist for me, and it converted through, and I picked it up. But nonetheless, let's get this thing cracked open and take a look. And I'm going to pass it once again off to Past Ryan. Okay, everyone, so now I've got the box on the counter here, as I do. And we're going to take a look at the front cover. So first off, the front cover has the image of Superman from the promotional poster images, which I also got signed by Alan Tudyk at HalCon in my last HalCon video. But we got David Corenswet Superman inside the box here. We're going to take a look. So we've got that poster, and right on top, embossed on this clear sheath, is the Superman shield, better known as Alex Ross's From His Kingdom Come books, but co-opted by James Gunn for his brand new Superman symbol. So we've got that on top of the image with his symbol everywhere. Superman in the top left corner. Right here we have DC Studios. I think it's a cool concept, a little bit late of Warner Brothers and DC to get into this. Superman and Krypto, MMS, 81216 scale collectible set. Movie Masterpieces logo right here. And right here is the Hot Toys logo. Now, if we take a look up here, it says Superman. And on the bottom of the box, if I can get a hold on it, we've got the S shield as well right down there. Flipping to the side, we have the logo and image. And it's just kind of got this design, all blue and red. Love the blue and red, of course. And right here on the back is all the warnings, all the specs, and everything associated with the figure. I really like the Superman glowing. It's got the same shield, and there's the Metropolis skyline. Over to the other side, DC Studios logo, Superman, same logo as the front. Now we're going to go right here, and we're going to take this sheath off. Now, I really like the whole sheath idea. I think it adds something to the packaging, definitely makes it look very nice. Anyways, we're gonna get that thing. And there is only slight damage to the figure. I did get lucky. I believe I probably mentioned this at the start, but I did get lucky and got this one off a wait list, which I had ordered it in the first place, then ordered the inert, sorry. I did order the inert, canceled this one, and then decided I really wanted to get both. I have different display options for them, so why not get both? And luckily the waitlist converted, but without further ado, let's just take a look. I think it's all the same on the sides, just minus the sheath on the front or surrounding packaging. And we're going to cut the top open. And there we go. Put the knife away. And let's get into this. All right, so I've got the plastic sheath opened, but I did forget that this actually has a bookend, it has a cover that will open as if it was a book. And we're going to take a look. Now, hopefully this works out better than others, but there we go. So we have Superman right here, Krypto, the amazing Kryptonian base right there. If we move this over just a little bit, we have Look Up in the sky with the Superman shield. Now, from what I can see, figure looks pretty good. It says Hot Toys presents movie masterpiece series Superman and Krypto with the serial number and everything again. So product number on there. So it looks really good. It's packaged well. I'm interested to see what his suit looks like. I know with Man of Steel, the very first Hot Toys figure I ever purchased, my Man of Steel figure had some issues with the suit. Over time, it has become a little less than sturdy. And with the Batman v Superman hot toy suit as well, I know that InArt has done a very good job on the new Batman v Superman piece. But we're gonna get this guy out of here and pose him up and just take a look at what he comes with and what we can see what we can do. All right, so here we have Superman, the 1/6 scale figure in the clamshell packaging. We've got the Fortress base, there's Krypto, and the main accessories that come with every Superman figure, the interchangeable hands for every style you need. Now, I'm not sure what pose I want him in, just taking him out. I want to get him out and just see what it's like. And of course, I think this packaging has 4 levels to it. So this one's going to be very difficult to get out of the packaging. Actually, I think this part comes apart as one piece, and then down below with the Fortress and the other to kind of show off exactly what it's coming with. Now, I have to say I love the Fortress base here. I've actually got pieces of the Smallville Fortress crystal from the actual set, and I've always loved the older style. Not to say that I don't love the Snyderverse style of the Fortress. This one is iconic. That one I loved as well, but I'm very excited to have this base in my display. I don't know exactly how it's going to be displayed yet, but definitely going to look good. And we've got to get this guy out. So there's 2 clamshells for each packaging, the base and all the posing options here with some extra pegs for the wrists. Like I said, I had a friend who broke the pegs, so it's always good to have a few of these extras on hand. And we've got all his hands, Krypto and Superman in the top. So we're gonna put this one aside for now, and we're gonna get Superman and Krypto here out of their clamshell. Okay guys, so here we have Superman and Krypto. So first off, we're gonna get Krypto out of his little chrysalis, plastic chrysalis. And I've heard a lot about Krypto and how he just does not look quite like he should, the sculpt being bad. And I gotta tell you, from what I've seen from InArt, if they can deliver, this Krypto does not win. That doesn't mean it's a bad figure, it just means that it's not top notch like InArt's looks. I'm gonna just pose up the cape here. The cape is posable. He is going to be somehow displayed in the Fortress or the Fortress style pose with Superman. I do want to have this guy out, but I really have kind of concern that he won't just stand. I'm going to try it right here quickly. I guess he does. He kind of actually stands, so that's not bad. The front paw, you can really see the seam on the leg. I don't think it's even made to be articulated. This arm does not suffer from it, so this one being so pronounced is a little bit curious. There's absolutely no articulation in the head sculpt, tail. The cape, honestly, is the only thing you can move, so it really limits the posing options with Krypto, but still a decent piece to include. I'd say it's not worth the biggest of price jumps, but you know, it's a nice little small displayable piece. I wouldn't have it anywhere near the center of the display along with Superman. I'd have Superman and maybe the Krypto flying behind in the display somewhere. Because the cape is still kind of cool. Getting that one out now. So on the bottom of the figure, I always mention it. I typically don't read them anymore. I've read quite a few. If I do run into a problem, I 100% read these things. There are some figures that are different from others that you have to read, so always check the bottom of your clamshell packaging. You'll find your instruction manual. And here are all the hand sculpts right here, the extra hands. Take this out, and this is my first time really getting Superman, oh my, out of the packaging. And this clamshell packaging was a lot more tightly packed than past figures. And I've opened a great deal of Superman figures. I believe you can all attest to that. And there we go. So first impressions, the head sculpt looks amazing. I like the hair and how it seems like it's parted in multiple areas. It's not articulated at all, or articulatable, I suppose, posable. Get some of this out of there. Oh, it's clinging. It's clinging. There we go. But yeah, you look at that head sculpt, it looks amazing. I like the S shield, looks really good. It's the right size. That blue is a beautiful color. There's those trunks. The trunks made a comeback. I really like the shine on the S shield though. The glossy paint on that is amazing. And there we go. Get all these off. These are always just, they stick to you, so I end up just tossing them in there. So first impressions, it's more of a fabric than the Man of Steel Superman figure was. The cape, I really like the cape. I love the S shield. It's more of a thick plastic. So yeah. So the cape obviously has the wire. I remember at one point I actually put some wire and customized my Man of Steel figure. Looks like this one will not need that kind of articulation. Would be nice to have just a drape cape with this piece, but I think the InArt one will come with both capes for interchange. We'll take the rest of that off. But yeah, there he is out of there. I like the hands that are on him. And I always tend to go with the same kind of pose. This one I'm thinking is going to be the same, but I'm not quite sure yet. Not the same pose that I always go with, but I tend to like to err on the side of caution a lot of times with these because I'm really afraid of the bunching and the joints. The boots are all one. There's no gap for the leg pegs, which is nice. They look like they're a more durable plastic on there, or durable substance. So I don't know how badly they'll kink or if the paint will chip over time. So I don't know if I really want to test that. Head, I'm gonna take off here. Pops off quite cleanly. There we go. And one thing I'm noticing, I don't think this figure comes with the interchangeable head sculpt, an extra head sculpt with the heat vision. So I think he's going to just be basically what we see right here, which is not a bad thing. It's a really nice figure so far. But let's get his base out and take a look at all the accessories he's going to come with. All right, guys, so we have all the accessories and the base and our friend Krypto out here. So let's just take a quick look. So first off, we have the waist clamp stand, which I definitely, and not just myself, but many other reviewers don't use because we don't want to ruin the suit on our figures. And it's a really big kind of worry for a lot of us to have Superman on this, plus he doesn't always look the best. So if you want to use them, it clamps right in here and you can have them hovering just above this piece. Right here, we've already taken a look at Krypto. Here's Krypto's stand. So he's probably going to stand or be posed aside from the fortress unless you want to have Superman soaring above. And then next up, we have just the magnetic stand right here. So the magnetic stand goes right in here. And if you can't see that, we're going to bring it up right in there so that you can have him posed hovering above the fortress base. There we go. I want to put that back. And of course, we have the other piece which will conceal the opening for the magnetic flight piece. And this is just a piece to hide the standing peg piece, which of course I didn't look into, so I'm not quite sure which way it goes in. Maybe that way. Oh, look at that. Got it in there. So if you wanted to put that back in, you can, just to make the fortress scene seem a little more realistic, which right now I'm leaning towards right here we have all the hands. Now, I really shouldn't have to go over. Superman's always come with all these kinds of hands. But we've got the reaching hand or fighting hand, which if you get yourself a doomsday figure somewhere or another piece like that, the flight hands right here. We've got the holding hands in case you have him holding something. And then your typical fisted hands for fighting, or the iconic hands on waist pose if that's what you're going for. But we're gonna take a look now. We're gonna take a couple minutes to just see what Superman looks like with the base and see which pose really works for me. But these are the accessories that you get with Superman. All right, guys, so here we are with Superman and Krypto out now. I want to preface this with saying this is the first pose that kind of came to me. I did try the magnetic flight pole or hovering pole, and I found that it tilted Superman at a backward angle. Now, if you were to work on it and try to find a pose that works, like he's lifting off from the fortress and Krypto's just hanging around the fortress, that might work a little better. I've already told you why I don't want to use the stand pole. I am going to work with this flight pole a little bit more and just see what I can figure out and if there's another pose. But for now, I think the figure looks amazing in this pose. Krypto beside him, he's a good addition to one of my shelves, and I've got another idea for a display for this one when the inert one is released and comes in. Now, until then, I don't really have any other David Corenswet Supermans to pose with him, but I do have what I believe is the greatest of all Supermans to pose next to him. So let's get him out of the display cabinet and take a look. All right, so here I have David Corenswet's Superman next to Henry Cavill's Superman from Batman v Superman, which I think I pulled out for my last review. But you can kind of see especially the differences in the costume. I find the seamless head-on inert Superman right now is way better than Hot Toys. There's quite the gap right behind the chin, which I will put up here. The only other thing right now, I think Hot Toys head sculpts have come a long way. The only other issue I had trying to pose this guy right now, I love how inert has magnets in their base, so that if you want to pose him, you don't need that stand peg or the waist clamp pegs. This one was difficult to get standing in such a way that he will stand. So when I get him moved over to the display, I'm figuring I'm going to have a little bit of a time getting him to stand in there. But definitely a cool figure. Very happy to have it in the collection. And I can't wait to see what inert does with David Corenswet Superman. As for the movies, I'm not going to comment on that here. Maybe in a video in the future. But it's definitely cool to have this figure in the collection. But you got to give props to Henry Cavill from Batman v Superman. That is still my favorite Superman suit of all of the films. Anyways, guys, let's get him in the display and we'll take a couple more shots and I'll show you a couple other things. I just want to make sure he looks good in his display. But for now, this is Superman meets Superman. All right, guys, so let's just do a little bit of a 360 and I'll give you a few more thoughts on this figure. First off, the base is amazing. From afar, the texture of it is very good. I like that they went with a see-through material. Really gives it that extra depth. The paint apps are very good depending on which angle you're standing on. I find some of it looks a little bit too much like it's from a spray paint can, but definitely works at a little bit of a distance. The head sculpt, like I said, right on the back, you can see a little bit of a gap between the head sculpt and the neck. I don't know if that's the way I put it back on. Maybe it is, I don't know. Now, I didn't move his eyes because I figured I'll just have him looking straight forward. And I've had a little bit of issues with the movement of the eyes in past figures, Wanda. But I think him looking straight on with this kind of pose is very good. And I've already had issues keeping him standing, trying to get his posture looking correct here, and just trying to make sure that his standing is working well. It's very difficult at this time. The wired cape, I would have loved to see an interchangeable drape cape and wired cape. Not that I don't like the wired cape, but in some instances, you just want him standing there without any wind or anything. I think I've posed it up pretty well. I've had a little bit of experience with the drape cape before. Again, I love this on the back of his suit, that S-shield, but I do feel like I have to kind of work with it a little bit more, that it shouldn't be slanted. So I don't know, I'm going to be a little bit careful here. Let's see. Well, maybe not. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I do like the fact that it is a resin on the back. It definitely is a little bit more, it's not just printed on, it's actually there. I like the collar, but again, it does look like a Guardians of the Galaxy suit coat that was reused. Definitely probably the same costume designer that did Guardians did this one. But still, I like the suit design for the most part. There's not a lot of intricate detail, but still a cool figure nonetheless. And you know what? I'm going to put him in the display here soon, but yeah. So far decent. I really like the head sculpt. The head sculpt to me is winning it all right now. And Krypto could use some work, but I like having Krypto and Superman here side by side. So anyways, guys, that's just kind of a 360 on him right now. Still kind of trying to figure out my full thoughts on this figure. All right, everyone, so here is the David Corenswet Superman Hot Toys figure in my display case. And obviously I have to clean up the felt on my display case, but that's for another day. I've got Krypto here beside him. And you know what? I like the pose. It's kind of like the cape is getting blown through. So I do enjoy the wired cape in some instances. So for now, this one is going to fill in until my inert Superman, David Corenswet Superman, comes in. And it will be on this shelf, which I've put next to my alternate Justice League figures, which are just an alternate to these Zack Snyder's Justice League figures, which are on their own shelf, which you guys will see at some point in my collection tour. But I gotta say it, guys, great figure. If you can pick them up, pick them up. And the one thing I'm seeing right now that I'm more a fan of is 100% the head sculpt. I think the body proportions at this moment are better on this Hot Toys figure than the promotional images for inert. So I'm very glad I did pick this up off my wait list. And I just, you know what, guys, it looks fantastic in this display shelf in my display. The only thing I think I'm going to do, once the inert piece comes in, it's going to go here. That figure will go here, and this one is going to go into another part of my fortress in another collection. But if you guys have a chance to pick them up, again, definitely a great piece. I'd love to have lights or something in behind at some point, maybe just to kind of give it that more angelic look, I guess. But again, I do find that the proportions of the body in the mid-range are better than the ones I've seen in the promotional art for the inert. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below on this, because honestly, this was a hard decision. At first, I did cancel this figure so that I could order the inert. I figured I'd only need one, but had to go with this one. Let me know. Are you guys going to go with this one, the inert? Let me know down below. Got Krypto here. If you have a chance, guys, I'm going to say it, pick them up. It's great. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and watching. If you do have a moment, please leave a like rating. It means the world to me. Subscribe to my channel for more great content coming very soon. If you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts on the figure reviewed today, please leave them down in the comment section below. I love to read all your comments. I will see you all in my fortress for my next video.